Welcome to Offensive, where we're going to do an awesome job because Jalen Ramsey gave us a speech right before the show, and we're doing it twice. Welcome to Week 9 of the NFL, where we're going to talk about all the games, all the things. Crazy stuff is happening. Like, there's so many actual interesting, exciting games to talk about. We're going to go through them, and we're going to solve all the problems of the Packers, the Bears, everything all together. So let's get right to it, guys.
Let's go.
The big games this week.
All right, here's our Week 9 games. We're each going to pick our favorite game to talk about. So let's go with you, Hype. What was your favorite game to see? What was your favorite game to watch this weekend?
I really, really enjoyed the Lions losing to the Vikings, even though I don't want the Vikings to ever win, ever. But when the Lions just look stupid and get embarrassed at home, like, that is awesome. Like, J.J. McCarthy ran one touchdown and barely didn't do anything. The Vikings defense dominated the Lions. Their special teams dominated. They caused turnovers. They did all these exotic blitzes and stuff. The Lions didn't know what was coming left and right. It reminded me of the first game of the season where the Lions got dominated by the Packers in a very similar way. And it brings joy to my heart in a dark weekend like this, when the Packers lose, that the Lions also have big issues, and they can be beaten by people the Lions can be beaten by teams in the division. And they won 14 games last year, and they looked unbeatable at times. This year, no team was unbeatable. The Vikings looked like really good on defense and special teams. J.J. McCarthy, though, didn't do a whole lot. They gave him some MVP. But, Neckbeard, do you think, though, that the Lions are a legitimate team, a legitimate contender for the playoffs after this game and seeing their performance?
I think the Lions are still very dangerous. But the Lions are beatable. They're not the terrifying team they were last year. And, their offense isn't quite as creative or quite as good as it was, obviously, with Ben Johnson gone. But they're still extremely good. Honestly, I think the Vikings just had an excellent game plan against them because, the Vikings, the one way to beat the Vikings is to throw deep against them, right? And stop that blitz and stop that rush, because the Vikings do have all these crazy exotic blitzes, but they can be beat deep, which is what the Chargers did to them. And if the Detroit Lions have maybe one part of their offense that's not super scary, it's probably the deep ball, because Jared Goff doesn't have the strongest arm. He's more accurate in timing. And the time it takes for him to throw those passes, you can get pressure on him. And when he gets pressure, he's not very good. So I think the Vikings just had an awesome game plan and executed it very well. But I think the Lions are still dangerous. I'm just really glad that they lost.
The Vikings kind of looked like the Vikings from last year in this game. You know what I mean?
They did a little bit.
The Vikings got 11 quarterback hits. They got 5 QB sacks. The defense is healthy, and they're finally able to show up, which is what we'd been waiting for pretty much all season. Yep. Other than week 1 against Chicago. It's nice to see a healthy Vikings team once in a while.
And they had 4 of their offensive linemen starting, so they got a couple guys back, right? So that, I think that made a big difference. But I put this game on the defense and special teams. McCarthy played decent. He had 147 yards, but he had 3 touchdowns, so they give him the MVP. But I think the Vikings defense was really the story today. They did a great job.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the next game.
All right, let's go to Chief. Chief, what was your favorite game of the week?
Oh, my son always asks me, Dad, who are we going to cheer for in this game? And I'm like, okay, son, who are the 2 teams that you see? Oh, we're going to cheer against the Chiefs again. Boo, Chiefs. I love my son, 7 years old, raising him right. Yeah. Even if he's a Lions fan. It was a fun game to watch. I can never watch it. I can never see enough 22 formation out there with a fullback and 2 tight ends, which the Bills, they're bringing it back in style. It's just like, hey, we don't need to have 3, 4, 5 wide receiver sets. We're just going to smash you in the mouth and just keep hammering at you. If you keep running at it, ball control, you limit any chance of the other team for getting offensive momentum. Mahomes could never get in sync or anything. He had his worst statistical game of his career, 15-34. Josh Allen had his best of his career, 23-26. And they just dominated the game. The Chiefs tackles got hurt, so it looked a lot like the Super Bowl where Mahomes was running for his lives because they're getting pressure on the edges. If you're the Bills, I just kind of want to put Bosa in a little glass jar and just leave him on the shelf until the playoffs now, because he's fairly fragile. he's dominant, but with his injury history, you just don't want to risk it. But it's amazing to see what they can do. First time that there's a 100-yard rusher against the Chiefs. First time there's a 100-yard receiver, albeit a tight end, Dalton Kincaid. It was just a fun, dominating game. And yeah, you can never have enough fullback. Packers, the funnest time to watch you is when you had George Kuhn out there every play.
Yeah, back in the day. And George Kuhn leading blocking for Dorsey Levens. And yeah.
Mhm.
So the Bills have the number one rush offense right now, even more than the Colts, because of Josh Allen and his running ability, along with James Cook, who can hit the home run. So, yeah, the Bills. I think this is their recipe for success, because their defenses look so much better the last 2 weeks, and when they get pressure, they're a totally different defense. I mean, every defense is different when they get pressure, right? So it's nice to see that they've stepped it up, but the Bills' rushing attack, I really think, is their key to success this year, and I'm glad they're leaning into it. You might as well lean into it, right? Because Josh Allen is probably the most dangerous rusher in the NFL, even more so than Lamar Jackson, just because of his sheer size. He's bigger than pretty much everyone except for the D lineman, right? And he's still very quick and skilled. So 2 rushing touchdowns yesterday. 3 total touchdowns to Patrick Mahomes, 0, and 28-21. The Bills kind of owned them the whole game. The score doesn't really tell the whole story, but they just need to do it in the playoffs now. Can you do it in the playoffs, please, Bills? Can you just do it in the playoffs once, please? We're all rooting for you. So
they did good in the playoffs last year in the first half because they ran the ball. In the second half, they're like, okay, now it's time to let Josh Allen win the game.
Yep.
And then they kind of veered off from the run. So this time, just run the damn ball the entire postseason, please.
Seriously, run it down their throats. Do it. All right, let's go to my favorite game of the weekend. My Seattle Seahawks, who I predicted to win the NFC West, destroyed the Washington Commanders and their old team. Sam Darnold, perfect 16 for 16 for 284 and 4 touchdowns in the first half. NFL record, the only player to ever have 4 touchdowns and 100% completion percentage in the first half. It was just an absolute boat race by the Seattle Seahawks. The defense looked good. The offensive line looks good. I mean, this offensive line that wasn't supposed to be very good has been pretty decent all year. And I think a lot of that has to do with Sam Darnold and his just ability to get out the ball. But here's a fun stat for you, Dave. Who has the most touchdowns of all rookie wide receivers in the NFL?
Ooh.
Oh, Horton. He has 7, I believe, on the year, including his special teams.
7 with his special teams. He's got 6 with his special teams touchdown. So he leads all NFL rookie receivers in touchdowns, and he was a 5th-round pick. And his senior year at Colorado,
I was preaching him before the season.
I know, I'm giving you credit. That's why I asked you the question, you dumbass.
Dave,
so
trying to be nice.
And it's because Dave picked him up on his fantasy team. He's like, he's going to be great, and we're like, whatever. And so far, he's been great. And this is the thing about Darnold too, is he's spreading it around. They had their backup tight end catch a touchdown. I mean, he did throw it to JSN a lot, but he's spreading the ball around. And I think Seattle's offense is very well balanced. Their defense is very well balanced. So this is a good team. They got a good coach. And yeah, Seattle scares me a little bit. They very much feel to me like not like the Commanders of last year, because the Commanders of last year were winning like by 1 point at the end of the game a lot. And Seattle's just starting to roll people. They're just starting to roll people. So they almost feel a little bit more like the Lions of last year, right? But
or
2 years ago.
Same quarterback. How do you compare them to the Vikings of last year? Were you scared of the Vikings last year? Because I think
in the regular season
I think this defensive front of Seattle is the difference maker. I think that's what really makes them a tier above what the Vikings could have hoped to be last year.
So, I mean, as a Packer fan, I am never scared of the Vikings in the playoffs, and I'm always scared of the Seahawks in the playoffs. So, yeah. So I'm scared of the Seattle Seahawks in the playoffs 100%. I will never be scared of the Vikings in the playoffs until something else changes. But, that's why when the Vikings win 14 games, I'm like, So, yeah, but this Seahawks team, definitely, if the Packers play them in the playoffs, I don't think we'd win that game. But who knows? We'll get to that later. All right, so those are our games of the week. Now, we could go to do one smart, one dumb, but honestly, like I have so many dumb things to say about the Packer game, I almost should not even get into it. So Doug wants to do a segment where we basically ask questions going forward. So we're going to do a really long Packer Bear Talk this week because there's a lot to go into. So let's get into our Packer Bear Talk for the week. Hype, what are we talking about now?
Okay, I have a bunch of questions for you guys. All right, so that you can say yes or no to or give an answer, right? Matt LaFleur, we have a lot of things we talked about with him. He has 2 more years on his contract. Ed Policy said he's not going to renew him right now. Do you think the team playing flat like this and looking like they're not showing up and not coached well, do you think this affects when he is resigned for his next contract or not resigned? Or does Ed Policy wait longer to resign?
It almost sounds like you're saying resigned.
Resign, like
just
sign
resign
him to a new contract.
Well, I'll take this one because I got a lot of Matt LaFleur opinions. This is the first time that I felt like Matt LaFleur is on the hot seat a little bit, because over the years, I've seen Matt LaFleur make a lot of mistakes in the playoffs. I've seen him be a little bit of a puss when it comes to play calling. I've seen him get out coached before, but he always kind of found a way to turn it around, or like, he's a very smart offensive guy. He's always made adjustments. He's working with a very young team. Like, I think Matt LaFleur is a very, very good coach. And I compared him to early Andy Reid before, saying like, he's got a lot of room to grow. He's going to fail upwards a little bit. But I got to tell you right now, after not even this Panthers game, but just looking back at this season and watching how many times LaFleur has been out coached this year, I got to say, I'm having doubts about Matt LaFleur on a level that I've never had before. And I think he is officially on just a warm cushion right now. I'm not going to say he's on a hot seat, but I'm saying he's on a warm cushion, and that could heat up. And I think Ed Policy is making the right decision by not renewing him. I need to see what Matt LaFleur does this year. A, do we make the playoffs? I think we will. And B, does he go back to cowardly Matt LaFleur in the playoffs and end up like just being completely obvious and boring and losing us the game because he's not aggressive? Then if I'm Ed Policy, I go cutthroat, and I might even consider letting him go at the end of the year. And that's not because I think he's a bad coach. It's because Ed Policy might decide that LaFleur is not the guy to take us to a Super Bowl championship yet. And in my heart, I believe Matt LaFleur can be a Super Bowl caliber coach. But do we want to wait for him now after everything we've seen, or do we have a better option? This is the first time in Matt LaFleur's tenure that I've asked myself, are we better with Matt LaFleur next year as the head coach or somebody else? This is the first time. So, and there's still a lot of season left. I might take that back, but I've never felt that way before. But just this season and how it's going, he has been out coached on a pretty consistent basis, and I'm not happy about it, if I'm being honest.
Dave is a lineman guy. He's all about the O-line, the line of scrimmage, the trenches. The Packers have had a big problem with establishing identity and establishing toughness, and they look like very much a finesse team. Do you think that's a problem with LaFleur and like just his coaching leadership, or do you think that doesn't have anything to do with him?
I think he's not able to identify the strengths of the team. When they built this team, they did it so that way their offensive line would be better at pass protection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to kind of scheme around that, and that way you can do, have the pass set up the run. And unfortunately, he's not been calling that. He's been relying too much on Josh Jacobs. They got spoiled a lot because Josh Jacobs really carried the team a lot last year, and he did a little bit this year. So LaFleur just kind of leaned on it a little bit too much of a crutch. So he's not being the creative play caller that he was 3 years ago. And because even walking into the season, a lot of people said it really doesn't matter who Green Bay puts where on the line. They just always seem to make it work. And this is the first time that he kind of, his play calling, it isn't up to par, and that's why I think you're seeing the deterioration, because same players as last year, same players that last year and the year before, your center, he looked amazing. He looked almost Pro Bowl caliber. This year, put him to center, and he looks like doggy do, unfortunately. So I think
we've had some of the same good offensive line coaches that we had in the past that everyone said was like so great and everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
And now things are just falling apart. So that's really weird.
So the position coaches, they can only coach it up as well as the scheme allows them to. So that's where I put it on the floor.
I agree with
the hard-nosed mentality in other teams and stuff like the Lions and stuff that are instilled by the head coach, and I just think LaFleur can't do that.
I don't know, dude. We've had good offensive lines under LaFleur almost every year. I mean, and the Packers got like Rasheed Wallace, who's like the 7th-round pick, playing well at left tackle. Right. We've got a 1st-round pick, Jordan Morgan, who struggles a little bit from time to time at right guard. He should really be at left guard, in my opinion. I don't actually like Aaron Banks over there, but we signed Aaron Banks. We moved Morgan to the right. Zach Tom's coming off an injury. I think Elton Jenkins is the major problem. We had one of the worst centers in the NFL last year. We have the worst center in the NFL right now. So I thought it was going to get better, but it got worse. Sorry, Elton Jenkins, but like you're done after this year. You're not getting another contract with the Packers. I hope you get someone somewhere else, and he should probably be back at guard, but he's been really bad. Packers, go get a center this offseason, sign one or draft one. The offensive line is a problem, but I think it's very fixable. I think of all the problems I've seen on offense this year with the Packers, I think the offensive line is the most fixable. I think the LaFleur problem to me is the most complexing and unfixable. So I'll agree with Dave on that one. I think
LaFleur constantly talks about how he wants to be a hard-nosed run first team. He says those words like literally, we want to run the ball and do this, but he can't do it. He wants that to be identity. He can't fulfill his team identity of what he wants to be able to do. And we don't have the skill. We have Josh Jacobs, who's very good, but we don't have the offensive line to be a run power team. We have the offensive line to be a pass team. So Dave said it. You should set up the run with the pass. That's what we should be doing. And LaFleur is not scheming that correctly. Our best player on offense is still Jordan Love. I love Josh Jacobs, but our best player is Jordan Love. After that, it's Tucker Kraft. Oh, dude, I'm so sad he's upset. Well, after that, this is now leading into my question number 2. Tucker Kraft is gone for the season. Not only is he the Packers' number 1 receiver or number 1 like go-to player, he's also a good blocker as a tight end, which is now we're losing that. We're going to have to put a guy who's even another not good blocker on the team. Do you think this injury is going to really drastically hurt the Packers' chances to go deep in the playoffs? Let's start with Chief this time.
I do. He's been the safety blanket for Jordan Love. Dobbs, he looks good and he probably is your best wide receiver, but Love has relied quite a bit on Kraft. Anytime you need somebody to make the whole stadium go nuts in Lambeau, it's been Tucker Kraft plays. It's the just boom mentality. He brings everyone to their feet. He helps to liven up inspires the entire team. You don't really see Dobbs make too many plays, that had that sort of a level. And because unfortunately, with the way that LaFleur has been scheming everything, you need the players to step up because they're being limited in what they can do. You need that emotional leader. I don't really know that anyone else on the team really, has that will and has that fire that you get from a Kraft. Musgrave, I liked watching him early on because he was amazing because he'd pull a Kelsey. He always got open. And then he would simultaneously catch the ball and trip on his own feet. At the same time.
He's good at that.
It was amazing how someone who could look athletic to get open, and then as soon as he gets the ball, he just fall down. But yeah, losing Tucker Kraft, I don't think you're really a threat to go deep in the playoffs now.
I agree 100%, unless something changes drastically. Now, my hope is that Matt LaFleur is going to be more creative, because I think the problem with LaFleur's offensive play calling, which I have numerous issues with, is that all these wide receiver screens and he's trying to get wide receivers involved and he's trying to be clever and it's just not working because it's not. And they've been basically saved by the ability of Tucker Kraft after the catch to make plays. He was our most important offensive threat because he was
making plays. Not
after the catch,
making a play afterwards.
Yeah, the only person so far after the catch that I'm afraid of on our team is Tucker Kraft. If I'm a defender, right? I think we should use Matthew Golden for that now in the future because let's be honest, Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson are good receivers, but they're both one-trick ponies. Christian Watson runs a straight and he's good. Romeo Doubs runs a 7-yard in or a 7-yard out, and he's good. And that's it. Romeo Doubs is not going to run after the ball. Christian Watson is not going to be your third down guy to go to. Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson have 2 very specific things that they do well. Tucker Kraft was the toolbox that you could use in different scenarios over the middle, deep on the backside, running a pass on a screen.
First down.
Neither of those guys can do that. So you drafted Matthew Golden, number 1. He got hurt, but it looks like it's not too bad. Let's figure out a way to use him. Jaden Reed's going to come back. Let's be more creative on the offense because I swear to God, if you throw the ball to Luke Musgrave 7 times next game, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. Because Luke Musgrave is athletic. He's so athletic that his feet are always in front of his brain, which is why he cannot stay on top of them, right? And so Luke Musgrave is not the answer. He is not a terrible tight end. But it is bad. It is very bad for us.
They do have Fitzpatrick, who's kind of okay-ish. We'll see.
I don't mind Fitzpatrick as a blocker, and him as a second tight end on certain sets is fine. But no, this Tucker Kraft injury is massive for the Green Bay Packers because he's our best offensive weapon right now.
Question number 3. who's to blame for the Packers playing flat in this game and these games where they come out and they're playing terrible? Is it Matt LaFleur? Is it the players being young and just immature and not understanding that they've got to show up against teams that aren't good?
It's the coach. If your players are flat, it's the coach. Like, it's 100% the coach. Like, the coach sets the tone for the whole team, the entire team. He sets the tone. So this is the thing about Matt LaFleur. I'll say this again. Matt LaFleur says a lot of words that mean nothing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of words that mean nothing. When he talks about being hard-nosed and running, I've never seen it. When he says scared money don't make money, do you know what I've seen? I've seen Matt LaFleur scared a lot. And I haven't seen him make us a lot of money with his not scared stuff. So, like, Matt LaFleur says a lot of stuff that is just BS, and he sets the tone, and it's 100% Matt LaFleur. So, no, dude, this team comes out flat more than any team I've seen for the Packers in years. Even last year's Packers, which had their issues here and there. We you know, Jordan Love gets hurt. We come out with Malik Willis. He's got crazy, clever designs. Like, I thought LaFleur started last year extremely good and then got worse as the year went on. And I think he's like almost continued that trend. And I don't like it. I don't like this trend, and I don't like the mentality of these guys. The Carolina Panthers were up for that game. They were up for that game, and they were trying to find a way to win. And I'll even say this. I thought the Packers defense was kind of up for it too, but they just got beat down by a better game plan and a better coaching staff. The Panthers coaching staff massively outcoached the Packers coaching staff in that game by a humongous margin. It was apparent
to play for sure.
Yeah.
And I
agree with him.
Yeah, when I hear Green Bay threw 7 passes behind the line of scrimmage for 18 yards, that reminds me a lot of Shane Waldron last year for the Bears, where it's really uninspired, it's really desperate, it's weak ass sauce, and Shane Waldron should not even be in the NFL. I'm sorry. Go to college, go coach your high school kids team. But yeah, that kind of style, it's coaching scared. It's not motivating a team at all.
Thank you.
Question 4.
First half scoring. I just want to go over this. First half scoring, because slow out the gates. Against Cleveland, 3. Against Dallas, he scored 13 points in the first half, inspiring. Cincinnati, 10. Again, Cincinnati's defense, you only scored 10 points in the first half.
And 13 against Dallas ain't impressive either, because they suck.
Nope. Against Arizona, 6. Pittsburgh, 7. Carolina, 6. So other than the 2 of the worst defenses in the league, you're not scoring more than 7 points in the first half. How is that? You know, you're praying your defense holds on and your offense has to play catch up, and you're not running anything deep.
And usually it's some big plays that all of a sudden wakes up the team. Tucker Kraft runs people over. Something happens. All of a sudden they're like woken up.
Yeah. What's the game plan, LaFleur? What's the game plan? What's the Packers' tempo? What drive did the Packers do well on yesterday when they tempoed the ball and tried deep to middle passing yards because they had to score, and it worked? We should be doing this against every single team because that's the Packers' strength. Use Jordan Love. Matt LaFleur takes the ball out of Jordan Love's hands so many times it's ridiculous. But guess what? When it's 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 6 and we have to throw it deep, the Packers are the best team in the NFL on 3rd and long. That's because of Jordan Love. Stop taking the ball out of his hands. Stop throwing behind the line of scrimmage. Stop playing this cutesy BS and then giving us a quote like you're a freaking Hell's Angel, because you ain't. You're scared all the time, Matt LaFleur. Okay?
He's going to ride in a Harley.
Dude, Matt LaFleur talks like he literally is an MMA fighter, and he is on the sidelines pissing himself.
It's
like,
I am
so...
Like, coach from Racine Case who ride up into Harley, remember?
Oh, Crowley. Coach Crowley. Love Coach Crowley, dude.
Crowley.
Yeah. No, Crowley actually was tough. Like, Matt LaFleur just talks that way. And I'm so sick of him talking that way because he never backs it up. I'm so sick of it. And Dave is 100% right. What's the game plan, LaFleur? Why are you getting out game planned by every single coach that you play? Why are you playing to the other team's style instead of the Packers? What is our style? What's your game plan? You're getting smoked this year, dude, and it's your own fault if you are on the hot seat. It is 100% your own fault, man.
I think his game plan is establish the run, and they can't. So then he's like, what do we do now? I don't know.
No,
what plays do I got in here?
He's got to sit down and get creative because the Philadelphia Eagles are coming to town next week, and we all kind of expect to lose that game now. So we'll probably come out and win that game, and then we'll lose to the Giants the week after in New York, right? Because that's just what the Packers are this year. Doug, if I told you at the beginning of the year the Packers were going to lose to the Browns and the Panthers, would you think that we're getting like a top 5 pick? Because no
one
would
been like, that's just what they do. That's just a normal Packers season.
Well, this is what I'm saying. We've beaten the Lions. We've beaten Aaron Rodgers, which I didn't expect. The Commanders now don't look as good, right? So, we're still number one in our division, but I got to tell you, LaFleur is not looking pretty these days. And this is why I'm not blaming Jordan Love so much, because Jordan Love has had a bad game yesterday. Happy birthday, by the way, Jordan Love. He had a bad game yesterday, but he was trying, man. He was the only one trying. And there's so many times they're taking the ball out of his hand and LaFleur's not trusting him. And I'm just sick of it, man. Stop coaching scared. Stop thinking you're smarter than everybody else because it hasn't been working. Stop being cute.
Do you know whose birthday it is today?
Who? Whose birthday is it today?
Tucker Kraft. You got to.
Oh no!
Happy birthday.
He's not 27, right?
I want to go to that birthday bash though with the two.
Oh, that poor guy.
I'm sure it'll be a good party. But we got to get to question 4. You guys
Question
are already
4.
answering question 4 too much. All right, we needed these to be short things ish.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
You're gonna love this question, but you already kind of answered it a little bit. If the Packers beat the Eagles next week, is it just wipes the slate clean and we're all good, or does it not change anything?
It doesn't change anything. I'll take this one, Dave. The Packers every game is going to be excruciating for the Green Bay Packers. Every single game is going to be like this. It's going to be excruciating. And what I mean by that is I think the Packers could literally beat every single team in the NFL. I think they have the talent and the skill to beat every single team. I think the Packers have the stupidity and the coaching to lose to every single team in the NFL. There is no team that I think the Packers couldn't lose to, and there's no team I think the Packers couldn't beat. So this is just what it is. Every game is going to be
know
like
what he
this.
sounds like?
What?
An Eagles fan.
Yeah, maybe. I
Roger
mean,
Goodell loves this right now.
You
That's what
play
they
up
want
to
the
and
league
down
be.
to the level of your competition.
They do.
When you play up to, all I can think of is Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon, when they're on the boat and they say, "What's your style of fighting?" And he says, "The art of fighting without fighting." You're water.
Fighting.
You just mirror whatever the other team wants to do, and they're like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
want to be a ground and pound? Yeah, let's just play ground and pound. Oh, you want to be through the air? Let's play that." They don't set any tone. They're just water.
thank you.
Very
Now, in the second half of the Steelers game, they did set a tone, but what were they doing in that game? They were aggressively throwing the ball down the field, right? We got those scores because we were aggressively throwing the ball down the field and letting Jordan Love do his thing, okay? Carolina is not a great defense, but not bad. And again, I picked Carolina to be a sleeper to make the playoffs, guys. So I don't think Carolina is a terrible team.
Kind of like
And
a
I
500
thought-
team, right?
I thought the Vegas line was way too high. So thank you, me, because I won $50 on that Vegas line because I knew Carolina was going to cover. I just didn't think they would win. But I mean, the Vegas line was wrong because Carolina is not that bad. The game against the Bills is an anomaly because Andy Dalton was worth negative points. He was so disgustingly bad in that game. But Carolina's run defense is not great. And, our run offense isn't great. So it was a bad off line there. But our run defense was allowing 78 yards a game. And Carolina got 164 yards rushing in that game. So Hafley also had a stinker because he was not adjusting to Carolina's. Carolina brought in big packages. Remember, they were bringing in big packages, 2 tight ends, and they were playing a bunch of backup offensive linemen. And Hafley didn't adjust until the fourth quarter. And even then, on that back-breaking drive where Carolina got the field goal, what was the biggest play of that drive? It wasn't anything Bryce Young did, right? It was a 19-yard run by Rico Dowdle, and he ran right up the middle and took it past us. Yep. So this is, again, that's on the coaching. That's on the coaching. And yeah, I'm not mad that we lost to Carolina. I'm mad that I am mad that I don't know if LaFleur is our coach next year because I don't know if I want him to be. And that's the first time.
If we beat the Eagles handily, does it change anything? And the answer is no.
No,
because the next
zero.
week we just turn around and play terrible.
If we beat the Eagles, I guarantee you we lose to the Giants.
As an outside observer, Dave, as a Bears fan, what do you think of the Packers? Do you think now, when you just see that game, when the Bears play the Packers could win that game?
Yeah. The Bears and Packers, neither one of them is scary. Both of them have a lot of faults. I think that our head coach is far more inspiring, but I think our defense has so many holes on it. I think we have a good D coordinator, but we have so many holes to make up for that it's going to be, both of the games are going to be interesting. But yeah, I'm not scared of the Packers. I'm looking forward to it. I don't expect us to win, but I think it's going to be entertaining. And
yeah, I bet we go.
Green Bay's not scary. to
I
anyone.
bet we go 1-1 against the Bears. It just feels like that kind of season where the Bears win one and we win one. Because I agree with Dave, like the Bears don't scare me, but the Bears have skill and talent. And what's going to happen is the Bears will have a game where they have 2 turnovers against us and we have none against them and they beat us. And then there'll be a game where we don't turn the ball over and we beat them. Because that's how the Bears win this year, right? And that's how the Packers lose. The Packers had 2 turnovers yesterday, 1 for 5 in the red zone, guys. So we got in the red zone 5 times and we scored 1 touchdown. Carolina got in the red zone 3 times and scored 2. So again, I don't think the Packers defense was even bad in the game. They weren't great because they were allowing lots of runs, but they allowed 16 points in a game. When your defense allows 16 points in a game, you should win that football game, especially when your offense had 5 opportunities to score. That's on you, Maddie. So yeah, I don't know. Next.
Well,
let's go to
the
number
last
5.
one.
Okay.
I don't know if there's an answer to this. So how do the Packers start to have an identity? You kind of answered this a little bit, right? How do they assert themselves, create an identity where they're not playing and being dictated by other teams? And you kind of mentioned starting like just strengthening that deep passing game, right? Like play the pass to set up the run.
Play the pass to set up the run. Dave said it. We have a good running back, but not a great running offensive line. We have a pretty decent offensive passing line. Not great, but decent.
They're okay-ish.
But have you noticed that, like, we don't run a lot of play action? How much play action did you see in that game against the Panthers? Not a whole lot. And when it was, it's like the stand-up shotgun, Jordan Love does this play action. Like, as a safety and a defensive back, thank you. Thank you for wasting your time faking a handoff that I don't care about, because that play action means nothing. It means nothing. You have to turn your back to me, pretend like you're handing it off to make me stop, because I'm not stopping anything if you're just doing this, right? It doesn't change my life at all. You're doing the defensive favor by wasting time taking the quarterback's eyes off of.
LaFleur's worried to do play action from under center, though, because the offensive line might just let someone right through?
I mean, it's possible, but you got to take that chance. Hey, scared money don't make money, right, LaFleur? So, no, we need to play off a play action even when we're not running the ball. We need Jordan Love under center more. And to be honest, like, if we want to run the ball on first down, we need to stop this RPO stuff because I don't like it. And we need to stop this short passing stuff. Like, you do short passing once you think you have an advantage on the defense. You don't do it every 5 plays like Matt LaFleur does. Like every 5 plays, shoot, I better throw it 2 yards or behind the line of scrimmage. And yeah, 7 passes behind the line of scrimmage, but there was also a few that were super short too. And basically what he's doing on those 9 or 10 passes is saying, Jordan Love, throw this. He's not saying, Jordan Love, make a decision to throw the ball to the open guy. He's saying, Jordan Love, throw this. It's effectively a run, right? You're replacing the run with the short passing game. And if you guys remember talking to me over the last 2 years of Rodgers' career, the thing that I was the most upset about is that he would audible out of runs and throw 2-yard passes and say, oh, it's just like running the football. It is not just like running the football. You have to beat the defensive line down and get 25, 27 carries and let your offensive linemen push them backwards. When you throw short passes, your offensive linemen are still in pass block position, and you're not taking that advantage of running down the defensive line. Dave, you know this. As an offensive lineman, is a 2-yard pass the same as a 2-yard run, in your opinion?
No, it's much more fun to pancake somebody. You can't.
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody when you're pass blocking.
Let your offensive lineman be aggressive. It is not the same thing. And I am sick of LaFleur trying to replace the run with the short passes. Like, throw in 2 or 3 a game, fine. Not 8, 9, or 10. And I think LaFleur is really causing a lot of trouble. And I hate that he's taking the ball out of Love's hands. And I hate that we're not doing play action pass from under center. So, you know what? I hate to say it, but maybe this Tucker Kraft injury will make the offensive, like, maybe make them try to make some adjustments and be more creative like they were when Jordan Love went out and Malik Willis came in, and LaFleur had to get kind of creative and find ways to make Malik Willis successful. I think LaFleur needs to get more creative because he's been kind of rested on his laurels over the last couple weeks, and I do not like it. So maybe it's a good thing, but at the end of the day, it's not, because Tucker Kraft is still our best offensive
People
weapon.
are saying that, like, the offense won't be that heavily affected because they kind of do pass the ball around a lot of people. That's kind of the problem, is like they weren't passing it to like Kraft that much for a while, right? Like,
right. And we complained about that, but who was our most explosive person after the catch? Who was the most explosive in the NFL after the catch? It was Tucker Kraft. You
I'm
lose
just
that,
saying that they do
you
try
can't replace
to
it.
pass the ball around to many
Yeah.
people.
No, we can't replace Tucker Kraft's yak yards. We can't replace Tucker Kraft running dudes over and getting everybody jacked up. Like that alone, like he's a heart and soul kind of guy. And like losing that is huge as well. So other guys got to step up, man. Other guys got to step up. And, you know, we'll see if somebody does or they don't. But I still think the Packers are good and they're going to win plenty of football games. But you guys got to be ready for it to be ugly because it's going to be ugly. You know, we're not going to beat teams like the Seahawks do or like the Colts do other than last week. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
or like even the Chiefs are 5-4 and they've blown out 4 teams. I feel like 3 or 4 teams, but they've lost other games. The Packers haven't blown out anybody because LaFleur doesn't know how. Because never mind. I've talked enough about it. You guys get it. I'm mad at Matt LaFleur. Okay, I'm just mad at him.
Next Monday is going to be so much better when we're doing this during the Packers-Eagles game.
Dude,
Packer games.
Like we're probably not going to be able to put it on YouTube because I'm going to curse so much. Because if I say, dude, that screen pass on the second to last drive, the drive before the touchdown, when it was 3rd and 3, and we knew we had to go for it on 4th down, and he calls a screen pass that loses 2 yards. A, takes the ball out of Jordan Love's hands, and B, doesn't even bother running it when we know we're going for it on 4th down. I literally screamed at the TV, and my kid was outside, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "We're losing to the Panthers." And he's like,
"Did someone die?"
Yeah, so camera, get back here. All right, I get it. I'm telling you, I'm going to swear
the
next
camera's
week.
afraid of you right now.
Dude, I know, right? So
we have, I think, talked a lot about the Packers. Let's talk about the Bears. I'm sure there's a lot of fun things to talk about this. What?
A team that knows
my camera's dying. It's like, no, I can't look at your face anymore.
Yeah, the camera's done. The camera doesn't want to talk about the Packers on the floor anymore. Dave, in this game against the Wacko Flacco, you guys found a way to beat Flacco. Your draft pick had 2 touchdowns. How do you feel about your draft pick and your quarterback right now? Do you think the Bears offense are starting to click and figure stuff out right now? Or is it just that you think the Bengals were that bad?
The Bengals are the Bengals. If you watch the game, I was cursing out Caleb the entire time because he was inaccurate. And even the commentator was saying it. When he tried to throw a touchdown pass to Rome, one of the 3 times he tried to throw to Rome, it was on his back hip. He's throwing behind people. He's rolling out to the right, and he's throwing it to – if he can lead his guys, they'd have a chance to make 20-yard plays. Unfortunately, they had to jump up to try to catch the ball. And then if they do catch it, it winds up only being a 5-yard pass instead of a 20-yard game. So his accuracy is still very much an issue, whether it's mechanics, whether it's in his head. Again,
when Kmet got injured, didn't he throw it high and Kmet got like slaughtered on that pass, right? And then the same thing. I was watching some of the game yesterday as well, and it seems like every pass Caleb throws, it can't be here. It's like here, or it's here, or it's like back here. It's like he knows who to go to. Like he's processing the right guy to throw to. But like there's something in his head that he can't just make that quick, easy timing throw. The timing throws are the thing.
He's like,
and we talked about this, Dave. He's not a timing quarterback. He's an athletic, make stuff happen quarterback. So like, can Ben Johnson fix that? Do you think?
Well, you have to remember.
Go ahead.
Jordan Love coming out of college was an athletic quarterback who wasn't a timing quarterback.
Yep.
He had the benefit of sitting for 3 years, so he could actually learn to get that timing down. Caleb has to learn on the fly. Ben knows this. So I'm hoping, that we're able to get it. And given to see where he is right now, I still don't think he's going to, take us to any promised land next year. I still think we're 2 years out from him becoming hopefully a top 6 quarterback, but maybe not. Because it's not necessarily linear, but
yeah. I mean, in that quarterback draft, I think it's always going to be tough for Caleb because Drake May already looks like the freaking man, right? Bo Nix looks like he's got it going on. Jaden Daniels, again, before his injury, looked like the best guy out of that draft. So, like, again, and I was actually listening to a Bears talk show about this, Dave, and they said something interesting. It's like, I don't need Caleb Williams to be Peyton Manning. It's like, I realized he was the number 1 pick, but the Bears, we've had such bad quarterbacks. If he was the 11th best quarterback in the NFL, I'd be ecstatic. Like, that's all I want. Just be good enough to where you're not a problem and that our team, if they're good around you, we can win some games. So they're like, we don't need to put pressure on Caleb to be an MVP. Caleb just needs to be good enough to help us win games and not stop us from winning games like most of our quarterbacks have done. And I was like, you know what? That's a pretty good point. And to be fair to Caleb, he has made a lot of mistakes, but he made some good throws. The very last play of the game, with the very last touchdown, yes, the Bengals had an absolute just disastrous time of it, but he threw a good pass to Kmet. Kmet catches it. The two Bengals defenders bounce off of him like he's, made out of Superman gold. And he just runs 40 yards. So, that's all he needs to do.
Do all tight ends look the same to you, DBs?
Was it not Colson Loveland?
Man.
Who did I say it was?
No, you said Kmet.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
I knew it was Colson Loveland because I got a bunch of text message.
Show the number one draft pick some respect on that name.
Yes, the number 10 overall draft pick with his first 2 touchdowns of the season. Way to go.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it was in the second quarter that I talked trash to the guy in our league. I thanked him for not starting him against me because I said, yeah, Loveland, he's just going to take 3 years. He's not going to do anything. And then all of a sudden he goes off. So why not?
Yeah. But again, it is the Bengals. I think we also have to understand that any game against the Dallas Cowboys and any game against the Cincinnati Bengals, your offensive stats mean nothing. They mean nothing. You could throw for 9 touchdowns and I wouldn't be impressed. I would only be upset if you threw for 1 against those terrible defenses. So like Caleb's still got a ways to go, but with Ben Johnson and the other skill players on your offense, you guys are still getting it done. Not necessarily despite Caleb, but without Caleb playing great, just good enough. And I think that's something to take away from it, right? You guys still got 40 points.
Yeah, when we beat the Raiders, it was despite Caleb, and it's just like, this is good. This is what we want. You need to have your talent live. And I think, DJ is an amazing wide receiver. It's just they finally realized, oh, wait, maybe we should try to scheme him and not just make it about Rome. I love the stat where Caleb Williams had 2 more receptions than Rome Odunze on the game, who's our team leader, because Rome got goose egged. Monangai, he was a blast to watch, 26 carries for 176 yards, and he was just smashing into guys, and he was going through them and whatnot. And when he got up, he never seemed like a Scadaboo, where he never seemed like super geeked or not, and he's just like, hand the ball, and then all right, let's go back, let's do it again. Just work pail type ethic. So I think it's all sorts of fun. The defense is what it is. But we have playmakers. I love the creativity of our head coach. If you could swap the quarterbacks and the head coaches. Actually, no, let's just take your quarterback. Let's just swap quarterbacks, and I think we can call it good. Jordan Love on the Bears, and you guys get Caleb Williams with
no way. I don't want Caleb Williams.
Happy listening.
I'm not doing that trade.
And again, this isn't me hating on Caleb, but like I have said this before. Caleb's Heisman season was really exciting, but his senior year of college, he got worse, and there's a reason for it, because teams figured out that he only had certain throws and skill sets that were really dangerous, and they kind of played against that. So it's not that Caleb was just great and then like all of a sudden fell off a cliff. Like Caleb has been struggling for 2.5 years to kind of find his way after that one great college season. So I never had expectations that Caleb would be a top 10 quarterback, but I think it put it in perspective for me. Like, hey, if Caleb's just a top 15-ish quarterback with Ben Johnson and his skill set, the Bears in a year could be really, really dangerous. I think already right now, Ben Johnson has shown that he knows what he's doing, and they're winning football games, and they're doing it weird. And, he's created, Caleb Williams caught a touchdown, right? So Caleb Williams has more touchdown receptions than Matthew Golden, Packer fans. Yeah. Thanks, Matty LaFleur.
Green passes. He can throw them and he can catch them,
Yeah. So, and DJ Moore threw that one, right? DJ Moore has more as a touchdown throw. So, very good. Very good, DJ Moore. But Ben Johnson's an offensive juggernaut. Like, let's be honest. And even with Caleb not playing well, or playing, less than good, I guess it would be a better way to put it, but not terrible, Bears offense is still pretty good. So, Ben Johnson is definitely scarier than Caleb.
Yeah, it's just crazy how you see. Let's see. Oh, so he did not even get a receiving. Okay, so DJ Moore got 2 touchdowns. None of them were receiving. 1 rushing and 1 passing.
Fantasy superstar.
Hey, man, play calling is an art. You know?
The Bears look, and the Packers have to play the Bears twice, right? This
Yep.
season still.
We got them
Okay.
twice. So let's look at the Bears schedule, Dave. So let's see how you feel about this. So you guys got the Giants next week. Do you feel pretty confident in that game?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Then
after
you've
that,
got-
I don't want to look at it until we get the Brownies.
Okay, well, then you got Vikings, Steelers, Eagles, Packers, and then Browns. So you got a bit of a gauntlet, because 3 division games, Eagles, and, Aaron Rodgers, who pretty much owns you guys. So who knows how that's going to go. Yeah. So, and then you got Browns, Packers again, 49ers, Lions. So you guys got, this is now this after the Giants game is when your schedule starts to get tough, right? Kind of same thing with the Packers. Like we play the Eagles this week, but then we have the Giants, and then it's a bunch of division games, the Broncos and the Ravens. So and by then the Ravens are going to be healthy and good, of course, and the Broncos look really good. So the Packers and Bears both have a pretty rough way to go here to end the season. So here's my question for you, Dave. You guys have a winning.
We have to go to Minnesota.
Yes, you have to go to Minnesota. Yes.
Will we have a winning record?
Will you make the playoffs? Was going to be my
goal.
question.
No, my goal before the season was 8 wins because I saw that second half, and it's still we lost Dio Abendango, whatever the heck his name is, the DN that we signed out of the Colts. He's gone for the year now. So we're just, it's a mash unit right now. The second half of the schedule is going to be brutal. Finish Packers, Niners, Lions for the last 3 games. 8 wins. I think it's a good target. I think we can beat the Giants. I think we can beat the Browns, and then I think we have a shot at the Steelers, Eagles, Packers, Niners. Yeah, we'll split with the Packers. So 9 wins, I'd say, would be our ceiling.
Yeah, I think, and 9 wins, I think, is a successful season, especially after last year. And I agree. I think you'll split with the Packers, so there's 1, right? The Giants, maybe, but probably. I'd say the Browns, probably. And I think you can beat the Vikings, maybe, maybe not. And I think you might sneak another one out of there. I think the Bears, I agree with you, Dave. I think 8 wins for them seems like a lock. 9 would be good. And 10 would be excellent, right? So if they go 5-3 again, so they or 5-4, and even that doesn't seem like too dramatic. If they go 5-4 over their next 9 games, they have a 10-win season and might sneak into the playoffs. So I'd say it's possible. It's possible. Meanwhile, the Packers. So you guys have the same amount of wins. You're 5-3. We're 5-2-1. So you're right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and right now, thanks to the 1 extra game, Caleb may get 4,000 yards. He has 1,900 right now at the halfway point, almost halfway point.
So, Dave, you know what's going to happen though, right? He's going to be at like 386, and he's going to twist his ankle, miss 2 quarters, and be back for week 18 and finish at 397 or something, 3997 or something like that. I hope he gets 3,990 yards.
He's going to get 399.9.
Yeah, I hope he gets 3,997. That's what I'm hoping for.
This is the year of curses and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The nice thing is the Bears were 10th in passing yards, 2nd in rushing yards, 6th in points for. So, granted, we played the Cowboys and the Bengals, and unlike some teams, we actually know how to play against those defenses. But
well, you know how to not coach. You know how to not coach. Scared money.
The Bears are good at scoring a lot of points against bad defenses for sure, and that's you should.
Yeah,
I mean, even though that's kind of expected, they did score a lot, so that's good. That's a positive.
No, they did what you're supposed to do against a bad team. So so right now in total yards per game, Chicago's 4th in the NFL, which is impressive, followed by the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Rams, and the Packers. So the top 10 teams in the league, Dave: Buffalo, Dallas, Indianapolis, Chicago, the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Rams, the Packers, the Seahawks, the 49ers, and then the Lions. So you actually have as of right now, the most efficient offense in the NFC North, believe it or not. Now, will that last? Probably not, because you're going to your harder part of the schedule. But I wouldn't be surprised if they finish top 10 still, right? I think you guys will drop a little bit because you don't play a lot of bad defenses going forward. But, the Giants, I don't know. I guess we kind of have to call them a bad defense. They've not been impressive this year. So So I still think you guys finished top 10 in offense, which, you know, I think that's a huge success, you know, compared to where you guys were last
Yeah,
year.
I think we were bottom 5 last year, so that's a huge step up.
Yeah, you were close. I think you might have been like seventh or eighth worst at or around there anyway, around there. So yeah, no, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. You know, Pittsburgh is 5th from the bottom in offense, by the way, offensive yards per game. So, yikes! I can't
ground
believe
and
that.
pound.
Yeah, ground and pound, I guess. So points per game right now, I think you guys got to be up there. So you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You are 6 in points per game. Packers are 12. You are behind the Lions in points per game, even though you have more yards than them. But still, pretty impressive, man.
I mean, stats are fun, but like the Cowboys are getting dominated by the Cardinals today, right now. So you know what I mean? Like that'll tell you what stats mean.
Wait,
you know what's weird?
Bo Nix is going to do better than Dak Prescott for a 3rd week in a row?
Ooh.
Wait, really?
If the Dave Kurtz is in play.
I was going to say, did you ruin Dak Prescott's career?
He ruined Dak Prescott. Dak in the box. He's stuck in the box, man.
Let's just check that stat out. How is he doing?
Yeah, they're losing 17 to 27.
Yeah, the Cardinals are driving on them again. They just had like a 30-yard run.
Dude, I'm telling you guys, the Cardinals are not a bad football team. No, if they get a competent quarterback, look out for the Cardinals, man. Like Dave called it. Get Kyler Murray out of there, and all of a sudden the Cardinals are a good football team, right?
I know stuff. I'm used to watching all football and not just my team, because this team kind of sucked for a couple of decades.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now Dave did say the Packers are going to blow out the Panthers, though, so I got to talk a little bit of crap.
This is true.
So like he's, you know, we're all as right as we are wrong. Like we all have our victories and our losses. Like I said, the Colts suck. He said they were good. I said the Panthers are good, and I look smart. But I also thought that, you know, the Falcons were good. They don't look smart.
Well, we're going to have a segment every week now called Dave Knows Stuff. So
Dave knows stuff.
You have to have stuff to know.
Let's Dave. What should we call it? Dave's premonition corner or something.
No, just to be called Dave Knows Stuff.
Dave, okay, I'm fine with that.
You
know what, Doug?
Yeah,
make
this thing right here.
Make a video that we can play during the cast that says Dave knows stuff, and like, you know, and then yeah, do it, man. And then Dave, you got to come up with something that you said smart about football every week, please.
Yeah,
about football, not about
that
life.
Sounds good to me.
And you make premonitions or whatever it is. I don't know. Or we talk about them. Yeah.
All right. So there's our Packer Bear talk, guys. Dave knows stuff. I don't apparently know anything. And you know what Scared Bunny does? It makes me pissed at Matt LaFleur. Bye-bye.